Hello, hello. Welcome to another market recap. Today is April 30, 2025. So, rather chill kind of trade day for me. Uh, no trades again today. I had two opportunities at some trades, I would say, in the 7 o'clock hour and the 10 o'clock hour. So to start this off, first thing, let me switch this. Where are we at? Cool. So back to the micro timeframes here. The trade, I had these four trades on watch essentially at the 7 o'clock hour. Mainly this dollar yen trade is the one I was really watching. I was also entertaining this euro dollar trade. There's a pound. There's a pound kind of MBO I was looking at right here, which I don't think this ended up playing out. May have played out for like a break even or something. We'll look at it. And then there was this. I was watching CAD yen as well, but primarily it was euro dollar and dollar yen. But really, realistically, it was dollar yen right here was the main pair I was looking at. So as I was looking at this, right, it's just an IBO, a pretty nice kind of clean IBO, honestly. A good wave one breakdown, wave two pullback, playing wave three, right? This trade offered a limit order entry as well as it offered a 5-second entry. But I guess when I saw this, price is already sitting at 0.5 fib. So if you were to see this when it was right there and put an entry at 0.382, then technically you would have been tapped out with a 0.618 fib kind of stop, more than likely, I think. But also this is a really tight position. I don't even know if it would have fit like that. I mean, possibly. But even at 7 pips on this dollar yen, I couldn't risk full size. So I was looking at this pair and I position sized it on my broker and I'm drew in this trend line and I was like, I might take this as like a live entry on a break, and it got the break like right there. So realistically, like the entry is here. But my issue is that it had high impact news coming out at 7:15 my time. So this was 7:10. So in 5 minutes, there's some high impact news coming out. And high impact news is going to do one or two things. It's either going to push the trade to the target immediately, usually, or it's going to blow through my stop. And then I'm going to get some slippage and I'm going to take more than a 1 hour loss most of the time. Like it could, be like a 1.5 hour loss or something like that. So for that reason, I don't like trading news. So me seeing that there's high impact news coming out in 5 minutes, I decide not to take the trade, essentially, because I don't trade news. It's not really in my plan to trade news at the moment. But it played out. Like trading news in this particular example would have been a quick 2-hour trade. And I think what I've been finding over the past like 2 months as I've been tracking, not taking a trade due to news or not, is it may be maybe a better option for me to take these trades, I guess is what I'm getting at. Like there is the risk at taking a greater than 1 hour loss instantly, but most of the time the trades play out. And what I mean is like if there's already a strategy, so there's already an IBO strategy, then there is an edge for this news to continue in my direction and for the news to come in and push it down. And that's typically what I've been seeing in the past 2 months. So yeah, I don't know. Something to think about. It's one of the things I'm mulling over right now for next month. So next week, when granted, next month starts tomorrow, but my true next month will start on Monday. of next week. The main thing I'm mulling is like changing my, entry point just a hair by a pip or two, and then possibly trading news, and then possibly implementing the MBOs. So, but both this dollar yen and the euro dollar was a CBO, a wave 3 CBO, right? So they're both wave 3 plays. I didn't love the 10-minute time frame here, but the 2 minutes pretty nice. And the only other kind of issue is that there's not really much on a 1 hour time frame. I think on either one of these trades. I think dollar yen was a little nicer at the time. Had some room to move here. That's why I kind of preferred this one. And I thought the price action was just a little bit cleaner than it was on euro dollar. But euro dollar, same thing. I mean, trade played out but very quickly due to news. This pound CAD trade was an MBO I was looking at. Like, kind of price is decelerating on this 1 hour 200, which would be the 4 hour 50. And I was watching, price decelerate on this trend line, kind of get this little double bottom, have a little bit of MACD coming in. So theoretically entering on a break of that with the stop a little low. And it initially played out and then reversed for a full loss. It just depends on management, I think. So on my typical management style, it would be like you're technically entering on the break with an MBO. So like at the 30-second break that I normally will go to P1 and I'll clip the low. Well, I'm already clipping the low on this entry style. So there's really nothing to do right there. But I think when a price comes up here and then retraces and retests the 30-second and then continues on, at that point, you essentially can move the trade to break even. And if you're able to move the trade to break even, then this is a break even trade. So I've still got to shore up exactly how I would want to manage these trades. But for the time being, my thought is to start taking them and just manage them the way I've been managing other micro time frame trades. But I just can't execute P1. So my management really won't start until P2. So I have to wait for a retest of the 30-second EMA or 30-second trend or something and a follow through to be able to like move my stop to break even essentially, or clip that low and lock in like 0.1 or so. CAD yen, very similar to dollar yen. So the next couple hours, I didn't really have anything. There wasn't much going on. It seems to be kind of par for the course this week. It's been rather chill, and then like 1 hour, there'll just be like stuff everywhere. So I didn't have anything else for the next 2 hours until the 10 o'clock hour. And then I had Kiwi dollar, dollar CAD, and dollar Singapore. So dollar CAD never really pulled back here to present an entry, but just basically, a break of a trend, nice kind of like wave 1 break, looking to play a wave 3 CBO. Never pulled back. Dollar Singapore, a very kind of similar thing, except it's not really breaking a trend. It just had similar price action. This was secondary for me. I didn't love it, so I did not take this trade because I was really waiting for this Kiwi dollar, because this was my primary trade of the hour. So I had these other two flagged just as, alternates, but my main trade I was interested in was this Kiwi dollar. And if we go back in time here, I liked everything about this trade other than the fact that it was bouncing off the 10-minute 200. So, but it's not quite the 1 hour 50 yet. There's still room to move to the 1 hour 50. Granted, my 2-to-1 target would be a little past the 1 hour 50, but my 1-to-1 is still below it. So for those reasons, I thought it was a nice trade. Like if you remove those aspects and just looked at the candles and not looked at any of the EMAs or anything, I mean, you have a really nice bullish engulfing candle. You have a nice kind of break of a trend, a good just wave 1 solid break. So, and a clean just push, and then a clean kind of pull back here, and then looking for a follow through from 0.382. And as well as you had a little bit of horizontal support from these kind of previous highs. But as you can see, the trade pulled back to within less than a pip, like damn near there, to trigger, and it just barely missed it. So drawing some of these trend lines in when I was watching the trade, being like, I wonder if there's a live entry here, but this would have been a little too high for anything. But yeah, a limit order entry would have caught this, but this is where if I would increase my limit order entry by a pip, so instead of 3.6, I went 4.6 here, this would have triggered at that point, and I would have been able to get into the trade by just increasing my entry by a pip. So 10 pip position, it just didn't trigger, but a really clean trade. It ended up playing out for roughly 1.4 or so. If we scroll back in time here, technically with no management, it made it to a 2. But with my management style, I never would have caught that. But if we just elongate this here, say we were up a little bit and we triggered there, then I would have been looking at the 30-second time frame. I would have triggered, I would have broke the 30-second, I would have clipped that low, taking off nearly all risk, and then just kind of be in this trade, right? On this kind of break and retest here, I'd go to break even, and still just be hanging out, not doing much. Price kind of retraces and then gets a follow through here. This is right at the 1-to-1, so there's not much to do at this point other than move a trade to break even. You can't really lock profit, but just tap the 1-to-1 or reversed. But on this kind of like slow follow through here, on this final break right here, and this nice little clean push, I would have drawn in a trend line there and then exited on a break of that trend. So more than likely somewhere in there for roughly about 1.4 R. That's what that trade would have been for me. So yeah, super clean trade. I like the setup a lot. Just, one main negative that I saw, but everything else is kind of there. I just barely missed the entry. And then dollar CAD didn't pull back. Dollar Singapore, limit order entry wouldn't have worked. Technically, a late kind of live entry may have worked on something like this too. On the second kind of break here, could enter there and go down. So either way, if I would have decided to trade with news right here, this would have been 2R. And then if I would have just increased my entry point by 1 pip, this would have been about 1.4. So missing 3.4R for the day. Yeah, interesting. And then I didn't have anything else for the 11, 12, or 1 o'clock hours. So I didn't really see much else worth trading, nothing that was really clean. But I really like the dollar yen and Kiwi dollar trades. So they just kind of are these trades take a little bit of adjustment in my rule sets to be able to take them. But I think at this point, we've seen enough examples, at least on these tap and go situations, to justify the 1 pip increase to the entry and not be so strict at 0.382. So yeah. Either way, that's my day. And I will catch you guys tomorrow. See you.